Taylor Lorenz, the old lady who used to work for the Washington Post, is back in the news again, singing the praises of alleged CEO killer Luigi Mangione.
The women who gather outside court in New York.
So you're going to see women especially that feel like, oh my God, right? Like here's this man who's revolutionary, who's famous, who's handsome, who's young, who's smart. He's a person that seems this morally good man, which is hard to find.
Tell me, how can Taylor possibly know that Luigi is a morally good man? The only thing we've ever heard him say is this.
And it's completely out of touch. And it's insults the intelligence of the American people and its lived experience.
Sure, there's a manifesto, but there's nothing in there to indicate whether or not he's a good guy. The only source of Mangione's great character is the one that exists in Taylor's head that she's made up.
I just realized women will literally date an assassin before they swipe right on me. That's where we're at.
So awkward. And big British guy, have some self-respect, won't you? Stop drinking Soylent and reform.
I'm sure you wouldn't like to be compared to a Trump supporter.
Yeah, no, that would be the worst thing possible.
But some of how people cannot understand why people have sympathies for Mangione strikes me as the same as a lot of media not understanding why people support Trump.
This is actually one of the most honest and self-reflective statements from a member of the, quote, media. They don't get it. They never will. Yet they think they're entitled to report the news in any meaningful way. If you don't mind, let's step back to Taylor's infamous crying episode.
Hey, nice job on that story, you soulless effing You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. And it's so isolating.
And terrifying.
It's horrifying.
Just so we're keeping score, bullying journalists is horrifying and you should not do that. But killing CEOs? That's good. Allow me to remind you that in the current year, 2025, Taylor is still masking and calls people who don't wear a mask dumb f***s who are raw dogging the air. At this point, Taylor is a sad, walking joke. And every time she steps outside and faces the horror of fresh oxygen, she sticks her foot right into her mouth.
It's hilarious to see these millionaire media pundits on TV clutching their pearls about someone standing a murderer when this is the United States of America. As if we don't lionize criminals. As if we don't have, we don't stand murderers of all sorts, and we give them Netflix shows. There's a huge disconnect between the narratives and angles that sort of mainstream media pushes and what the American public feels. And you see that in moments like this. I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Seriously?
I mean...
Joy in a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again,
we're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's being gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Thousands of Americans that be murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care.
Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No, that would not.
But why not?
And,
why are you laughing?
I think because it wouldn't fix the system.
You seem to find the whole thing hilarious.
I find your question funny.
A bloke's been murdered in the street. I don't find it funny at all.
I don't find it funny that tens of thousands of Americans die every year and because they are denied life-saving health care from people like the CEO.